Hi guys, Shooting Full of Holes here, and today I've got a pretty interesting topic for you. Today we're going to talk about this behemoth. I found this online, and I'm a lefty, so it's tough to find, especially older bows and stuff for left-handed people. There weren't, there aren't too many of these things out there. But I got this shipped to my house for about $50. This is a Bear Whitetail Hunter from 1986. And the thing looks like it's brand new. It literally looked like it just came out of the store shelf. So anyway, why did I get this bow? Because I was really intrigued by the progression of compounds. Fred Bear's company, or Bear Archery Company, was literally one of the first companies to start making compounds. And this is basically their first generation where they still had the cables and the pulleys, and they're just starting to figure things out and how things would work. And this bow is really cool. So I'll show you here. I had to buy, so I bought the bow, that cost me about $50, and had to order a quiver separately. I think this is the right quiver for the era, but it was a quick release quiver. I got this for about another $25. And so, I was trying to find information on how this bow functioned. And it's really tough. There really isn't videos out there on how this thing functions, and there's some PDF files and manuals you can download on it. And after a while I kind of got the gist, but it doesn't explain everything. But now I know how everything pretty much works. So, to adjust the poundage, this is how you adjust the poundage on this bow. You basically pull the cables off the pulleys carefully. I always start with the top one first. Just watch your fingers because the cables decross. You don't need crazy strength for this, just normal strength. Grab your cable, pull it off the pulleys carefully, and there you go. Right now, the bow is set at its lowest poundage. So that's about 40 pounds right there, okay? And you can shoot the bow like this. The cables do not have to be on the pulleys. So you can shoot the bow like this. Luckily I went to the right bow shop where they just happened to have a press that was long enough to deal with this bow, because there are not presses that can deal with these kind of bows anymore. They're tough. So good luck finding a bow shop that has a press long enough to deal with it. So the bow is on its lowest setting right now. Okay, and if you want to increase the poundage, you turn these, you loosen this with an Allen wrench, and you turn this to a different letter. Here's from A to F. Here's from A to F. You keep both of them in the same letters, and that'll increase or decrease your poundage. Right now mine is set on it's the highest poundage you can have is F. So then you put your strings back onto your pulleys. How or which strings go where, because they look a little bit confusing. So from where they're attached, you follow the cable. It goes to the idler pulley. Coming out of the idler pulley, that cable goes to this pulley here. There's one. From where it's attached, follow the tiny wheel. Coming out of the tiny idler pulley goes to this pulley. There we go. Now you'll notice the cable's crisscross here. That is normal. People would put flannel and tape and stuff there for it not to make that noise when they shot the bow. But it is perfectly normal, just so you know. Okay, so now the bow is on its highest poundage, which is about 70 pounds. There's a 50% let off with the cams. Now how do you adjust the bow for draw length? Okay, take the poundage off, again, very carefully. Release the cables off the pulleys. Now it's on its lowest poundage. You put this in a bow press, and on both cams, it'll have a plus and a minus sign. That's to increase or decrease your draw length. Now you can increase by an inch or decrease by an inch. And now you're wondering, okay, do I have to do this on both sides? No. You can just increase it or decrease it by 1 inch on one cam. And then to tune the cams back so that they are turning at the same time, you use these bolts here where the string is attached. You loosen it with an Allen wrench and you use another wrench here to turn the string, and it'll turn the cams and line the cams again. Now, if I pull down on this string, you'll notice that that cam turns a lot more than this cam. So just watch that, see how that cam there turns a lot and this one barely turns. Okay? And if you do this side, you'll see that this cam turns a lot and that cam doesn't turn as much. And that's how you tune your cams back in line again, was using those. So you just loosen this bolt and have a wrench on this side to basically wrap the cable or unwrap the cable so that it can tune the cams. And that's all you do. And then once you're tuned, you tighten down the Allen bolt and it's set. Now, this bow, or these bows, you know, this is a transition from traditional bow to compound. I mean, they were starting to really develop compound bows. But this is caught in that spot where the rest, this is a brand new rest because the old one was all brittle and broken. So you'll notice there is no hole for a different kind of rest because I don't think it had been invented yet. So this still shot the traditional way, where you had a rest. Some guys still had like the bare hair here and the strike plate or the side plate. I've seen bows like this with that on. So this was essentially a traditional bow going into compound. So a lot of guys shot these, you know, with gloves, 3 fingers under or split finger, and I don't think it mattered too much because the cams were basically tuned. So they would still turn the way they needed to turn, and as soon as you release, they would square it up again. But I don't know that until I shoot this bow. So, like I said, you know, this came with peep sight. I'm not going to shoot this bow with sights. I'm going to shoot it traditionally, just instinctively, and then later on I might decide to put the sights back on and a peep and shoot it that way and see how it works. Because back then a lot of guys still shot instinctively, so this was a new thing for guys too, so a lot of guys didn't really use sights. So this is part 1 of my video, and there'll be a part 2 where I've already got arrows in order. I'll have the arrows and I'll have them cut, and I'm going to shoot this bow for a few more weeks or so and see how that works out and give you my thoughts and my ideas on this bow. We're also going to see what kind of speed this is putting out, because the greatest advantage to this bow compared to traditional archery back then was that you could have a 70-pound draw, so you'd get more speed and penetration out of the bow. So from what I've seen and read in videos, if your traditional recurve did 150 feet per second, this one would do around about 200. So you'd get another 50 feet per second out of it. Higher poundage, you know, like I said, 70 pounds, and it's a 50% let off, so that's a huge advantage. The other thing is that you had sights, whereas in traditional archery, you didn't have sights. So from what I understood is that this made people shoot out a lot further. They were more comfortable, more accurately shooting out to 30 yards now, maybe 40, which is a stretch. But I would say 30 is doable with this kind of bow. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my review. And, you know, like I always say, pick up a cheap bow on eBay, go out in the woods, put up a target, and shoot it full of arrows. Thanks.